This call is now being recorded.
Good afternoon, students. So now we are going to see unit first, and in unit first, actually, I will not go unit wise. I will go according to my step by step. I will follow so that you could not face any difficulty. So that way I will follow, and my way is I will be starting from the basic of signals and systems. And you don't worry, I will cover each and everything. Signals and systems. So everything is perfect. My voice, screen, any issue, please let me know.
No, sir, no issue.
Okay. Signals and systems. So this is a basic terminology we have to understand, and then we have to see a classification as well. So first of all, let us understand the definition of signal. What signals definition? So you see here, I'm writing my statement for this signal. So signal is a basically physical quantity is a physical quantity which varies with respect to independent variables. Independent variables. So what are those independent variables? So here independent variables may be your consider as time. You may consider distance, or you consider length, etc. So signal is a physical quantity. So here in our course, we have to consider independent variable that will be time. So what example I may take for signals? So you see here, I may consider example of signal is voice signal, a signal which is generated by vocal code, that is voice signal. Or you may consider audio signal. Of course, audio signal, voice signal is a part of this audio signal. But basically, we define audio signal that is generated by uh, instrument. So that is basically audio signal. Or same way you can consider some other signal also. So generally we know these two. So I kept this example here in signal. So mathematically, how you are going to define this so that we can understand this clearly. So see here, so here this time is independent variable. So mathematically, I may consider this as a function xt equal to, you consider t square. This is your signal, students. So how so? See here. So if you plot the graph for this function xt, so this is xt. So what is now independent variable? So this is t. So this is independent variable, and this xt, this x basically here, this is called dependent variable. X depends on t, so that's why we call this dependent variable. So x is here dependent variable. So once you plot this for t equal to 0, that gives you magnitude amplitude 0, t equal to 1, that gives you 1, t equal to 2, that gives you 4, and so on and so forth, 8. Same for t minus 1, that gives you plus 1, t equal to minus 2, that gives you 4, t equal to minus 3, that gives you 9. So if you join this by freehand, you will be getting this kind of plot. So this is your signal, students. So here you see this x is varying with respect to time. As we change time t, so amplitude of this x is changing with respect to independent variable t. So of course this is a signal here. This is signal. All right, so this is what we have definition of signal, and once we understand signal, then we see how we classify signal basically. So signal is broadly classified into two ways that you may consider here. This is analog signal. This is analog signal. And we have the second part. This is digital signal. Digital signal. And further, this analog signal is classified into two ways. First part is continuous time signal. Continuous. Okay. Continuous time signal. And second part, this is discrete time signal. Discrete time signal. And from discrete to digital, if you wish. So in between you put one device, or we call this system. I will let you know what definition of system is. And this device is, or we can say system, that is A to D converter, students. A to D converter, matlab analog to digital converter. This I mean to say. AD converter, analog to digital converter. So again, in sampling theorem, I will see inside this AD converter, what are the subcomponents we have. So in detail, we will cover this. So for this timing, you understand to convert this discrete time signal into digital, we have to pass this discrete time signal through A to D converter, and then we will get digital signal. Okay, so students, here what we are going to see, we are going to analyze this signal. So what signal we are going to study here? So we are going to study this continuous time signal. I will see your syllabus. So what kind of signal we have to study. So as it is a signal processing and application, so we must study both, because there is no specific topic here that we have to study digital signal processing, or so simply broad topic is given. So I think I must go for continuous time signal as well as for discrete time signal, but no issue. I will go for first. I will see your syllabus, and accordingly I will see what kind of topic I have to cover. So let us understand what continuous time signal here. So continuous time signal, basically, if you see definition of this, continuous time signal says continuous time signal is a signal in which that signal is continuous in time. Signal is continuous in time as well as continuous in amplitude. So this is your continuous time signal, students. So this example you may consider as a continuous time signal. So from name it is clear that this will be continuous in time. Continuous in time means this way. This is continuous. There is no discrete value you see here. This is your continuous in time. So continuous in time as well as continuous in amplitude, students, right? So this is your continuous time signal. So whenever you have continuous time signal, that notation will be a function. Function may be anything x, y, z, but here this will be x as a function of t. So t will represent your independent variable, and when you see t, means you understand that signal is your continuous time signal. So this is my statement for continuous time signal, a signal in which it will go continuous in time as well as continuous in amplitude. But if you see discrete time signal, this is not so. So in discrete time signal, what we have? So in discrete time signal, that signal will continue in discrete in time. So what does mean of discrete in time? Discrete in time as well as you consider that amplitude will be continuous. So what does mean? Discrete definition is discrete in time, and continuous in amplitude. So this is the way you define this signal, continuous in amplitude. So you consider the same signal here. This is your xt. So when you have xt, how you are going to convert this into discrete? So for this you have a notation. This is your bracket, big bracket you have to use for discrete. And inside this you have independent variable small n. In place of t, you write small n. So this is your discrete time signal or function, you can say. So when you consider this, when I ask you to plot this continuous time signal into discrete form, means into discrete time signal form. So how will you represent this? So this way you will represent. So what you do, so this is discrete in time, means every instant of time you have to take students, and then for every instant of time you see what amplitude of this function is, right? So n equal to 0, then you see n equal to 1, then you see n equal to 2, then you see n equal to 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. So n equal to 1, we have this amplitude. N equal to 2, we have this amplitude. This, we have this. So discrete in time means I'm considering n equal to 0. So this real axis here, n, and this imaginary axis will be x. as a function of n. So n equal to 0, amplitude is 0, n equal to 1, amplitude is 1. So this is discrete in time, but continuous in amplitude. So this is 1. N equal to 1, we have this. N equal to 0, this is 0. N equal to 2, that gives you 4. Why? Because xt equal to t square. So xn equal to n square. This will give you n square. So n equal to 2, that gives you amplitude 4. Right? So this is 4. For n equal to 3, that gives you 9. Same way for negative value of n equal to -1, that gives you 1. N equal to -2, that gives you 4. N equal to -3, that gives you 9. -1, -2, -3, and so on and so forth. So you see here, this amplitude is continuous amplitude, but time is discrete. Discrete means between -1 and between -2 and -1, there is nothing else. Between -1 and 0, there is nothing. So only we are getting n equal to 0, n equal to 1, n equal to -1, and so on and so forth. So this is discrete in time and continuous in amplitude. So this is called your discrete time signal, students. So example you may consider here, this is xn equal to n square, and for this xt equal to t square. So that way you have to explain continuous time signal and discrete time signal. Okay, so here, once you have this discrete time signal, then you pass this through A to D converter, and then it will give you signal in binary form. And how you'll get this signal in binary form, I will let you know once I start sampling theorem. There I will discuss, and you will come to know how we transform this into digital signal. So this portion I am leaving for that unit. So now going ahead after this, what we have next that we have to see types of signal. So in continuous time and discrete, both we are considering here, both topic I will consider, and we have to see classification of this analog signal basically here. And both part we have to consider, continuous time as well as discrete time. Okay, so going ahead, next topic under this, still I'm in signal. So what we have, wait a minute, let me raise. Okay. Next we have a signal. Then we have to see types of signal. So what types of signal we have? Types of signal. So here we are going to study types of signal, basically basic elementary signal. Basically we have here two parts. First part we are going to see basic elementary signal, and this is very, very important. Basic elementary signal. So in this section we have three basic elementary signal. So first one that I may give a name, wait a minute students, both portion I have to cover, continuous time as well as for discrete. So let me divide this into two columns. First column is assigned to continuous time signal, and second column will be for discrete discrete time signal. Okay, and now we have to define basic elementary signals. What are those? So first I will consider here on first is unit step signal. So what is unit step signal? So it is defined by u as a function of time t, this u as a function here, ut, this is one condition when time t positive greater than 0, and this is 0 when time t negative. Please remember this. Time positive unit step signal gives you 1, time negative that gives you 0. So if you plot this function, then you will get this wave like this. For t greater than 0, this is 1, and for t negative that gives you 0. This is 0. This is u of t. This magnitude is 1. This is 0. This is time t. This is minus t. And similarly, when you go for discrete time signal, same unit step signal, here it will be unit step sequence, or signal also you may write, no problem. So unit step sequence or signal you can say, no problem. Both are same. Unit step sequence or signal. So here we have to use this notation u as a function of n. This is 1, n greater than n equal to 0. Here this is greater than 0, here n greater than n equal 0 also you have to consider. And this is 0 when n is negative. So how will you plot this? So to plot, this is u of n equal to 0. This will give you 1, n equal to 1, this is 1, n equal to 2, this is, and so on and so forth up to infinity. And for n equal to minus 1, 0, n equal to minus 2, 0, n equal to minus 3, 0, and so on and so forth. So this is what you have discrete time a unit step signal, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So you may consider, sir, can't we take decimal value like 0.5? My answer is no, you cannot take. So remember this, in discrete time signal, we cannot take a decimal value. We always consider time as an integer. Remember, students. So n must be integer and cannot be a decimal value. And over decimal value, this function will not be defined. So this is a key point that you have to remember, students. So this is your first part. Then what we have, a second that you may consider, unit impulse signal. Impulse, unit impulse signal. So how we are going to define this unit impulse signal? So in continuous time signal, Unit impulse is different and discrete time unit impulse is different. So see here. So how we are going to define this? So first we have this integration. There are two ways to define. First way this way, minus infinity to plus infinity del t dt. This gives you 1 when t equal to 0. And this gives you 0 when t is not equal to 0. Or second way to define this, del of t, this magnitude will be infinity, students, when t equal to 0, and this will be 0 when t is not equal to 0. So both definitions are correct. So according to this, what will be my waveform? See here, the waveform will be this way. You can plot it. See, this is your function, and this function you are integrating minus infinity to plus infinity with respect to time t. So this is what? This is your area, no? So area under this function, that gives you 1, where at t equal to 0. So if this is area 1 at t equal to 0, so this is my area, students. So this is my area at t equal to 0. This is your area 1, and t is not equal to 0, so this is 0. So you give this is 0, complete 0, where t is not equal to 0. So this is what we have. According to this, we have this graph. This is your del of t. Wait a minute. This is del t. This is t. At t equal to 0, this area is 1. So you mark here area 1. Now, same, if we have this definition and we have to apply over this, how would you show? See here, del t equal to infinity at t equal to 0. So how would I show this infinity? So simply, infinity means magnitude. So this 1 is basically area. Area means, suppose you have this area, right? So this is your what you call this? This is your length, and this you call breadth. So length into breadth, this is your area. So length into breadth will always be 1. So when this breadth is reducing and when it becomes 0, so what will be your area? Area will be like this. So still area is 1. So this is area 1. So here also this breadth is reduced to 0. So what we have area? Area would look like this. This is your area 1. Now, coming to show this infinity, how you are going to show this infinity? Simply you show here arrow mark. That's it. This arrow mark will show that this is at t equal to 0. This has a magnitude infinity, and area is 1. That's very simple. So that way you represent unit impulse signal. So impulse, where you are getting this impulse, you are getting at t equal to 0. So this is your continuous time unit impulse signal. And similarly for discrete, how you define? So unit impulse signal for discrete, this way you have to define. Unit impulse sequence or signal, both are same. You define this way, del of n, this is equal to 1, means magnitude is 1, sorry, when n equal to 0. And this is 0 when n is not equal to 0. So how will you plot? So in order to plot this, This will give you del of n. This is your real axis, n. N equal to 0, magnitude is 1 student. So you don't put arrow mark here. Simply you put this one vertical line, and here this magnitude is 1. This is 0. And for this -1, +1, -2, +2, this magnitude will be 0. 1 +2 +3. Very simple. And this way this will go up to -infinity. Understand students? Anuradha, Vanshika, clear hua?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And last basic elementary signal I would say here, that is unit ramp signal. Unit ramp signal, and it is defined by this way. For continuous time signal, third unit ramp signal. Ramp means consider as a staircase, as a good example for this ramp. So how we define this unit ramp for continuous time? So it is denoted by R, dependent variable, as a function of t. This is t. Condition when t greater than 0, and this is 0 when t negative. So when you plot it, so this way you have to plot. T greater than 0 means t equal to 0, 0, t equal to 1, 1, t equal to 2, 2, and so on and so forth. So this way it will give you a straight line. When t is positive, we have one straight line. When t is negative, magnitude is 0. So 0 means this one. This is minus t. This is 0. That way it goes. This way it will go plus infinity, and this is minus infinity. So this is continuous time signal. Same for discrete. Unit ramp sequence. So it is defined by R of n. This is n. When n is greater than n equal to 0, and this is 0 when n is negative. So how will you plot? So you consider n equal to 0, magnitude will be 0, n equal to 1, magnitude will be 1, n equal to 2, magnitude will be 2, not magnitude, amplitude. N equal to 3, amplitude will be 3, n equal to 4, amplitude will be 4, and so on and so forth, students. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and so on and so forth. For time negative, -1, 0, -2, 0, -3, 0, and so on and so forth. -1, -2, -3. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what you have discrete time plot of this function. So why this is called basic elementary signal? Because the reason very simple. Using these three, you can create any kind of signal except sine and cosine. So then you may ask us, sine and cosine, both signals are not basic elementary. Yes, of course. These two are also basic elementary, but we are quite familiar with these two, sine and cosine. So we are not going to discuss. Actually, basically first, second, and third, we were not knowing. So that we kept inside this basic elementary signal. And if you wish, you may consider this as a fourth part, sine wave. Sine and cosine also comes under these two. So these five are basically a basic elementary signal that you should know. Means why this is basic elementary signal means using this combination I can create any kind of composite signal, or if somebody gave me this signal you have to generate, I have to take the help of these five signals, and with the help of these we can create any kind of signal. So that example I will show you in next class. You don't worry. And then I will show how we can create a signal with the help of these basic signal. And once we complete, then I will go for next part of this types of signal B. There we have to see a classification of signals. In that classification of signals, I will teach you periodic signals versus non-periodic signal, causal versus non-causal signals. Then what you have deterministic versus non-deterministic. There are so many signals are there. So that also very, very important. And these parts I will discuss in coming class, right? So I think that's all for today. Rest I will continue in next class. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you, students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.